Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'm excited to introduce our topic, automated inventory replenishment and planning in Business Central. Today, we'll explore how this powerful system can help optimize stock management, improve production scheduling, and enhance demand forecasting. We'll cover the key features, benefits, and practical insights to help you make smarter inventory decisions. Let's get started. Welcome to today's discussion on automated replenishment in Business Central. On this slide, we'll explore how automated inventory replenishment and planning can significantly benefit your business operations. This process is designed to support better cash flow, which means more efficient use of your financial resources. It also enhances customer service by ensuring products are available when customers need them. Plus, it helps optimize warehouse operations, making your inventory management smoother and more efficient. One of the key advantages is that it reduces stockouts and excess inventory. By automatically generating replenishment orders based on demand forecasts and current stock levels, it ensures you have the right amount of stock at the right time. This automation takes the guesswork out of inventory management. Overall, automated replenishment streamlines your inventory management process, maintaining optimal stock levels without the need for manual intervention. It's a powerful tool that helps keep your operations running seamlessly, saving you time and reducing errors while keeping your customers satisfied. Let's take a closer look at our user base snapshot. Understanding this user landscape is really key to tailoring our planning configurations and training effectively. When we know how our users are engaging with the system, we can make smarter decisions to improve their experience. One important aspect is the current usage of the planning worksheet for both inventory and production planning. This tool is central to managing our stock levels and manufacturing workflows, so knowing who's actively using it helps us identify training needs and best practices. Next, we have the identification of users managing multiple locations. This multi-location management capability is crucial for businesses with distributed operations, as it impacts how they plan and coordinate across sites. We also see the adoption of assembly orders and production orders among our users. Tracking who's using these order types gives us insight into their manufacturing processes and helps us support more efficient production planning. Finally, it's important to understand who is still on NAV versus those who have transitioned to Business Central Cloud. This comparison highlights the migration progress and can guide us in supporting users through the transition, ensuring everyone is leveraging the latest capabilities for optimal planning. Now, let's move on to the session agenda for this part of our presentation. Here, we'll focus on automated inventory replenishment and planning within Business Central. First, we'll look at how to run material requirements planning, or MRP, and how to interpret the results it gives us. This step is crucial for understanding what actions are needed to keep our inventory levels optimal. Then, we'll discuss executing MRP, the process of actually generating replenishment proposals based on current data. Next, we'll cover the key settings that influence how replenishment behaves, including planning parameters that help us fine-tune the process. Managing items at different locations and variants is also essential, as it allows us to tailor replenishment strategies for each specific context. We'll also look at stock-keeping units, or SKUs, which form the foundation for automated replenishment. Proper setup here ensures our system accurately reflects our inventory structure. Finally, we'll go over planning configuration, which ties all these elements together and helps us create a reliable, efficient replenishment process that supports our overall inventory management strategy. Let's take a closer look at planning configuration overview. When we talk about automated inventory replenishment and planning in Business Central, proper configuration is absolutely crucial. It ensures that we maintain an accurate balance between supply and demand, which helps us avoid overstocking or stockouts, and it also reduces planning errors that can cost us time and resources. Now, the benefits of setting up our planning configuration correctly are significant. It's not just about the basics. It involves setting global parameters that apply across the system, location-specific details tailored to each site, and item-level data that fine-tunes how each product is managed. When all these components work together, they drive the automated order generation process, making it more reliable and efficient. So, what exactly does planning configuration encompass? It essentially defines how Business Central calculates what needs to be replenished and how it manages those needs over time. This setup guides the system in determining when and how much to order, based on our actual sales, lead times, safety stock levels, and other factors. To put it simply, planning configuration is the backbone of our replenishment strategy. When properly defined, it ensures that our inventory planning aligns with our business goals, making the entire process smoother and more predictable. That's why understanding and setting up these configurations correctly is so important for effective supply chain management. Now, let's take a closer look at the manufacturing setup table, specifically Slide 6. Here, we're focusing on automated inventory replenishment and planning in Business Central. These settings are crucial because they influence all planning activities throughout the system, ensuring everything runs smoothly and efficiently. One key point is that these settings enable the simultaneous processing of the Master Production Schedule, or MPS, and Material Requirements Planning, or MRP. This means we can coordinate production planning and material needs more effectively, reducing delays and improving responsiveness. Another important aspect is the combined MPS-MRP calculation. By setting a buffer period, what we call the default safety lead time, we create a protective window to account for potential delays. This helps us avoid stockouts and keeps our supply chain resilient. Finally, there's the setting for components at location. This directs the planning engine on where to source production components if no SKU exists for a specific item. It ensures that the system can make intelligent decisions about sourcing parts, even when specific SKUs aren't available, maintaining continuity in our production processes. All of these settings, when aligned properly, support a more streamlined, responsive, and reliable planning environment within Business Central. Let's take a closer look at how stock-keeping units, or SKUs, enhance our inventory planning. SKUs help us improve planning accuracy by allowing us to develop tailored strategies for each specific item and location. This means we can fine-tune our replenishment processes to better match the unique needs of each store or warehouse. They also support location-specific parameters, such as setting maximum stocking levels, which helps us prevent overstocking or stockouts. Additionally, SKUs define sourcing rules, ensuring that the right suppliers are engaged for each item at each location. Think of SKUs as mini-item cards that are specific to each location and variant of a product. This granularity gives us much greater control over planning, enabling us to implement replenishment strategies that are precisely tailored to each situation. Overall, by leveraging SKUs, we're making our inventory management smarter, more accurate, and more responsive to the unique demands of each location and product. Now, let's take a closer look at SKUs and planning options. One of the key features here is location-specific planning. This means that we can customize replenishment parameters for each individual site or location, allowing us to tailor inventory strategies depending on specific site needs. It really helps optimize stock levels across multiple locations. Next, we have integration with BOMs and routing. In the latest versions of Business Central, SKUs can directly support bill of materials and routing details. This integration makes it easier to connect production processes with inventory management, providing a more comprehensive view of how products are manufactured and replenished. Another important aspect is components at location. For each SKU, we can define sourcing components specific to that SKU. This helps us identify what parts or raw materials are needed and where they should come from, streamlining procurement and production planning. Finally, the replenishment system itself includes features like transfer orders. These enable us to move stock efficiently between different locations, ensuring that each site has the right inventory at the right time. Altogether, These options give us a flexible, detailed approach to managing inventory replenishment effectively across our entire business. Now, let's take a closer look at the replenishment system options in Business Central. There are 4 main methods for bringing items into stock, each with its own applications and implications for how we manage our inventory effectively. Understanding these options helps us choose the right approach for different scenarios. One important factor to keep in mind is the impact of scrap percentages. These are applied by default to finished goods, but they also affect components. Essentially, scrap percentages influence our quantity calculations, ensuring we account for wastage or losses during production or handling. Another key point is dual replenishment support. Both production and assembly orders can support replenishment strategies that are either to stock or to order. This flexibility allows us to align replenishment with our specific order policies, whether we're stocking items in advance or producing on demand. Finally, the primary methods for stock replenishment include purchase orders, transfer orders, production orders, and assembly orders. Each of these methods plays a vital role in maintaining optimal inventory levels and supporting our overall supply chain strategy. Understanding these options helps us manage inventory more efficiently and respond quickly to changing demand. Let's take a closer look at replenishment parameters setup. This is a crucial step because it directly impacts how effectively your inventory is managed. When set up properly, it helps minimize stockouts, which means you won't run out of important items, and it also keeps excess inventory in check, avoiding unnecessary costs. Now, the importance of proper setup cannot be overstated. If your replenishment parameters aren't configured correctly, even the best planning won't work as intended. It ensures that replenishment happens at the right time, preventing both shortages and overstock situations. Moving on to the key components of replenishment, these are the building blocks. They include reorder policies, which dictate when to reorder, order tracking, to keep an eye on active orders, safety stock levels, which serve as a buffer, and dampening settings that help smooth out fluctuations in demand or supply. Finally, let's define what replenishment parameters are. These are the rules and settings you establish that determine how and when your inventory gets replenished. They are essential for automating your inventory management process and aligning it with your business needs. Properly configured, they help ensure your stock levels are optimized, supporting seamless operations. Now, let's take a closer look at some common reordering policies used in planning parameters. First up is the fixed reorder quantity, or EOQ policy. This approach orders a set, fixed amount each time inventory hits a certain level. The main advantage here is that it helps optimize costs by balancing ordering expenses and holding costs. It's particularly useful when combined with make-to-order production strategies, where precise control over inventory is crucial. Next, we have the order policy, which involves ordering exactly what is needed to meet demand. While this approach is less common, it can often be more efficient, especially when demand is unpredictable or inventory holding costs are high. Think of it as just-in-time ordering, minimizing excess stock and reducing waste. Then there's the lot-for-lot policy, which is actually the most frequently used reordering method. It places orders up to a set maximum stock level, ensuring that inventory stays within desired limits without overstocking. This policy strikes a good balance by aligning orders closely with actual demand. Finally, the maximum quantity policy involves ordering up to a predetermined maximum stock level. It helps prevent stockouts while avoiding excessive inventory buildup. By setting a maximum, businesses can maintain control over stock levels and ensure they are prepared without overcommitting. All of these policies play a vital role in inventory planning, helping businesses optimize costs, meet demand efficiently, and maintain smooth operations. Let's take a closer look at the order tracking policies, starting with option 4, the optional reserve. This is often the safest starting point because it offers a good balance of control and flexibility. It's especially useful in fast-paced environments where you need to prompt planning actions without overcomplicating the process. Moving to option 3, action messages. These are primarily for visibility. They help you see what's happening with orders but don't necessarily require immediate action. Their usefulness is limited, but they're still valuable for keeping track of order statuses. Next, option 2, tracking only. This is considered the safest and simplest approach. Basically, no tracking at all. It's straightforward and reduces complexity, which can be ideal if your operations don't need detailed tracking. Finally, option 1, none. This means no order tracking at all. It's the most basic option and might be suitable for very simple workflows, but it offers the least control over your orders. Overall, these order tracking options are designed to balance control and complexity, allowing you to choose the level of tracking that best fits your business needs. Let's take a closer look at some of the independent parameters that play a critical role in our inventory planning within Business Central. These parameters work alongside maximum quantity and fixed reorder settings, and they're especially important when we're dealing with capable to promise, or CTP, scenarios. First up is the safety stock quantity. Think of this as a buffer. It's the minimum stock level we want to maintain to protect ourselves against variability in demand or supply. Having this safety net helps us avoid stockouts during unexpected fluctuations. Next is the dampener quantity. This acts as a threshold to prevent small, often insignificant, changes in demand from triggering unnecessary orders. It keeps our replenishment process stable and efficient by ignoring minor fluctuations that don't really impact our overall inventory needs. Then we have the dampener period. This is essentially a time-based delay that helps us prevent frequent rescheduling of orders. By setting this period, we ensure that our planning is more deliberate and less reactive to short-term demand noise. All these parameters together help us fine-tune our inventory replenishment process, making it more resilient and aligned with our overall supply chain strategy. They are key to ensuring we meet customer demand efficiently while maintaining optimal stock levels. Now, let's take a closer look at order modifiers. These settings are crucial because they help us optimize our order processing and strengthen our relationships with suppliers. When we talk about optimization benefits, the key point is that all quantities are managed in the base unit of measure. This consistency ensures that we're comparing and calculating quantities accurately across the board, making our inventory management much more reliable. Next, we have the concept of maximum order quantity. This setting is important because it triggers the creation of additional purchase or production orders if our needs exceed the specified maximum. It helps us avoid overordering and keeps our stock levels balanced. Then there's the minimum order quantity. Think of this as the smallest acceptable order size. It's different from the min and max stock levels. Instead, it controls the smallest batch we're willing to order, which helps us avoid inefficiencies or excessive handling costs with very small orders. Finally, order modifiers themselves are what control order sizes and splitting. They give us flexibility to tailor how orders are created, split, and managed, ensuring our supply chain runs smoothly and efficiently. Overall, these settings are all about fine-tuning our ordering process to be more consistent, cost-effective, and responsive to our business needs. Now, in this part of our session, we're going to focus on a hands-on demonstration of automated inventory replenishment and planning within Business Central. I'll walk you through some real-world scenarios so you can see how these techniques work in practice. We'll start by clarifying some key concepts related to the planning worksheet, making sure everyone is on the same page about how it functions and how it can be used effectively. Next, we'll look at troubleshooting common issues that might come up during replenishment planning, things like unexpected shortages or overstock situations, and discuss how to resolve them. Then, we'll explore how adjusting various parameters can influence planning outcomes. This is a critical part of tailoring the system to fit your specific business needs, whether it's reducing noise in recommendations or fine-tuning reorder points. We'll also review how to set up replenishment and planning parameters properly, ensuring your system generates accurate and useful suggestions. Finally, I'll demonstrate how to use the planning worksheet to generate and review replenishment recommendations, giving you a clear view of how to implement these techniques in your daily operations. Now, let's look at how automated inventory replenishment and planning in Business Central can really enhance your supply chain. This approach helps improve inventory flow, making sure products move smoothly through your system. By doing so, it also reduces stock imbalances, which means fewer shortages and excesses. One of the key benefits is improved inventory flow, where replenishment orders are dynamically adjusted. This means the system can respond to forecasted demand and lead times, making your inventory management more flexible and accurate. This leads us to dynamic replenishment adjustments, where the system continuously fine-tunes orders based on real-time data and predictions. Finally, we have time-phased planning, which aligns supply and demand over specific time buckets. This approach helps you see the bigger picture, ensuring that your supply aligns with projected demand over different periods. All of these elements together create a more efficient, responsive inventory management process, one that keeps your business agile and better prepared for changing market conditions. Now, let's take a closer look at how the Master Production Schedule, or MPS, and Material Requirements Planning, or MRP, work together in automated inventory replenishment and planning within Business Central. On this slide, we see that the MPS is responsible for planning dependent demand, which means it calculates the requirements for components based on bills of materials, or BOMs. This is crucial because it ensures that all the necessary parts are available for production in the right quantities and at the right time. It's important to note that the MPS can run simultaneously with the MRP, giving us a comprehensive view of both high-level production plans and detailed component needs. However, there are some exceptions, so understanding when and how they can overlap is key for effective planning. The MPS mainly focuses on independent demand items. These are typically finished goods or key assemblies that drive the entire production process. By managing these, we can better control inventory levels and production schedules. Overall, grasping how the MPS and MRP work together helps us optimize inventory management and streamline our production workflows. This integrated approach ensures we're not just reacting to demand, but proactively planning to meet it efficiently. Let's take a closer look at the planning and requisition worksheets. These tools are essential for managing inventory replenishment and planning within Business Central. The planning worksheet is primarily used for purchase planning only, which means it helps you forecast and prepare for upcoming purchase needs. Choosing the right worksheet is key because it can significantly improve your planning efficiency. For more comprehensive planning activities, such as creating purchase orders, transfer orders, or production orders, the requisition worksheet is the better choice. One of its useful features is that it can copy purchase demand directly from the planning worksheet, which helps ensure everything stays aligned and consistent. In summary, while the planning worksheet is great for focusing on purchases, the requisition worksheet offers a broader scope, supporting various planning activities and ensuring your demand signals are synchronized across different processes. Now, let's take a closer look at the different requisition and planning order types in Business Central. These are designed to handle various unique customer requirements and ensure smooth operations. First, we have special orders, which are tailored solutions for specific demands. They allow us to fulfill customer requests directly and efficiently by shipping products straight from the supplier to the customer. This streamlines the process and reduces handling time. Next, drop shipments focus on maintaining optimal stock levels. Their main goal is to ensure that inventory is available when needed, preventing stockouts and supporting timely fulfillment. Replenishment planning supports our manufacturing process, especially when creating subassemblies. It helps us plan and generate the necessary orders to assemble finished products from components, keeping production running smoothly. Then, we have assembly orders, which are primarily used for internal stock movements. They facilitate the transfer of inventory between different locations within the company, ensuring the right parts are where they need to be. Transfer orders are also for internal purposes, but are specifically used to move stock between warehouses or sites, helping us manage our inventory efficiently across multiple locations. On the external procurement side, we have purchase orders. These are crucial for acquiring goods from suppliers, ensuring we can meet customer demand and keep our inventory replenished. Overall, these different order types work together within Business Central's automated replenishment and planning system, providing us with the flexibility and control needed to meet diverse business needs and deliver excellent service. Now, let's take a closer look at the planning worksheet details. This tool is really powerful because it offers actionable recommendations to help us optimize our inventory levels and streamline our production processes. It's all about making smarter decisions to keep things running smoothly. One of the key features is issue identification. The system generates planning warnings and error logs, which help us quickly spot any problems or potential bottlenecks before they become bigger issues. Staying on top of these alerts is crucial for maintaining efficiency. Next, we have the planning methods. The worksheet supports different approaches like regenerative planning, net change planning, and action message planning. Each method serves different scenarios, giving us flexibility to choose the best strategy based on our current needs. Finally, demand management is a core component. The worksheet handles both independent demand, like external orders or forecasts, and dependent demand, which relates to components or subassemblies that depend on the main demand. This comprehensive approach ensures we're planning accurately for both customer-driven and internal requirements. Altogether, these features help us optimize inventory and production planning, ensuring we meet demand efficiently while minimizing excess stock. Now, let's take a closer look at the different plan types and how they help us balance accuracy with system performance. Choosing the right plan type is crucial because it impacts how precise our inventory replenishment is versus how quickly the system can generate these plans. First, we have regenerative plans. These are the most thorough because they involve a full recalculation of the entire plan from scratch. While they give us the most accurate results, they can also be quite time-consuming, especially with larger data sets. So, they're best used when accuracy is paramount and time allows. Next, there are net change plans. These focus only on the new supply or demand changes or parameter updates without redoing the entire plan. This makes them faster than regenerative plans and useful when there are minor changes that don't require a complete overhaul. Finally, we have action messages. These are like quick updates based on recent changes. They're the fastest option and are great for making rapid adjustments, but they can sometimes generate noise, meaning they might suggest actions that aren't always necessary or optimal. In the context of overall inventory planning, understanding these plan types helps us choose the right approach for each situation, ensuring we keep our operations efficient without sacrificing too much accuracy. Now, let's look at the concept of demand, specifically, the difference between independent and dependent demand. Dependent demand arises internally within the production process. It's generated by the components needed to produce the finished goods. For example, if you're manufacturing a bicycle, the demand for wheels, tires, and frames depends on the demand for the bicycles themselves. Material Requirements Planning, or MRP, addresses this dependent demand. It helps ensure that all the necessary components are available when needed, so production can proceed smoothly without delays. On the other hand, independent demand originates externally or from forecasts. This is what you see in finished goods that are sold directly to customers. Think of it as the actual market demand for your products, which drives your production plans. The Master Production Scheduling, or MPS, focuses on this independent demand. It helps plan how much of each product to produce, based on customer orders or forecasts. It's worth noting that both MPS and MRP can be run at the same time to align supply with demand effectively. However, there are cases where separate runs are necessary, perhaps due to capacity limits or specific timing constraints, so you can adapt your planning accordingly. In summary, understanding the distinction between dependent and independent demand is crucial for effective inventory planning and production management, ensuring we meet customer needs while optimizing resources. Let's take a moment to understand why low-level codes are so important in accurate material requirements planning, or MRP. These codes help us track the levels at which items appear in our bills of materials, or BOMs. Specifically, they indicate the lowest level where an item is used, which is crucial for calculating dependent demand correctly. By knowing the lowest level, the planning engine can process component requirements in the proper sequence, starting from the bottom up. This ensures that everything is planned accurately and efficiently. Maintaining these low-level codes is essential, whether we do it automatically or manually. If the codes are outdated or incorrect, it can lead to errors or missed steps in production scheduling. That's why keeping these codes up to date helps ensure that our planning is precise and reliable. In the bigger picture, proper management of low-level codes supports seamless inventory replenishment and planning, which ultimately keeps our operations running smoothly. Let's talk about action messages and noise in planning. When it comes to automated inventory replenishment and planning in Business Central, understanding these messages and what triggers them is really essential. This knowledge helps us manage the planning outputs more effectively. Now, why is that important? Well, these messages can sometimes create a lot of noise, which makes decision-making more complicated. If we don't understand what causes these messages, we might end up making inefficient choices or reacting to unnecessary alerts. One of the key challenges here is that while these messages are meant to guide us in adjusting supply, they can also generate a lot of clutter, especially when we see frequent pairs of new and cancel messages. That can overwhelm us and obscure the real issues that need attention. So, what exactly do these action messages do? They come from the planning worksheet and offer recommendations like creating new orders, canceling existing ones, rescheduling, or changing quantities. They serve as a guide to help us fine-tune our inventory and supply chain activities. The main takeaway is that understanding the nature of these messages and their triggers is crucial. It allows us to filter out unnecessary noise and focus on the actions that truly matter, ultimately leading to more effective planning and better decision-making. Now, let's talk about how we can eliminate noise in the planning process to make it more stable and reliable. Relying on system-generated recommendations is a key part of this approach. When we let the system suggest actions, it helps reduce unnecessary plan adjustments caused by manual tweaks or unpredictable data. This leads to a more consistent and predictable plan. Next, embracing planning flexibility is crucial. By allowing some adaptability in our planning parameters, we can prevent overreacting to small changes and maintain overall stability. This flexibility helps the plan stay steady even when minor fluctuations occur. Additionally, there are some useful settings we can configure, like rescheduling period, overflow level, and time bucket. These settings help smooth out planning cycles, ensuring adjustments happen gradually rather than in abrupt, disruptive shifts. Another important concept is the use of dampening parameters, such as dampener period and dampener quantity. These act as filters, preventing the system from rescheduling too often or reacting to minor quantity changes. Essentially, they help us avoid noise caused by small, insignificant fluctuations. It's also vital to avoid manual changes to supply or demand dates and quantities whenever possible. Manual adjustments can introduce inconsistencies and undermine the integrity of our plan, making it less stable. Finally, reducing noise in planning isn't just about turning settings on or off. It requires a strategic approach. Using these parameters wisely and following best practices enables us to keep our plans clean, stable, and aligned with overall business objectives.